All right, thank you guys. This next session we talked about that we're going to cover really is getting into buyer types and to what I call the 5 C's. We're going to skip through a few of these things because you got other speakers that are coming up, but probably about 15 minutes here, 20 minutes, I want to cover a few key points. I think it's really important to understand the different buyer types that you have. I don't know if any of you have ever read Strategic Selling, Miller Hyman, but they talk about 4 different buyer types. If you go to the second page here, at the bottom, economic, user, technical, coach. I think it's important that you understand these things because when you're trying to cut a deal, when you're trying to make a deal, different buyers act in different ways. So the economic buyer is what you would expect. That's the buyer type that usually has the money. The economic buyer is usually the person who's going to cut the check. Oh, thank you. The economic buyer is not always the person who actually makes the decision, however. So a great example is, and some of you probably have this, in my organization, I'm the economic buyer, but if you try to call me to sell me a photocopy machine, I'm not going to make that decision. I don't use the photocopy machine. But I get people to call me all the time trying to sell me a photocopy machine. I say, you're talking to the wrong person. You need to talk to this person. Her name is Cheryl. Cheryl's a technical buyer. The technical buyer in our organization for photocopy machines, the person who uses it, evaluates the quality of the machines, the functionality, the different things that you need, right? So a technical buyer in your systems would be somebody that's evaluating the quality, the competency that you have to accomplish what it is you say you can do. Many times in your environment, I'm guessing you're trying to talk to a technical buyer. Sometimes economic buyer. A user is what it sounds like again, somebody who actually is going to be impacted by the use of the product or service. That person is really concerned with the operation, how does it work, how quickly can I do it, how effectively does it work, and so forth as a user. And then a coach. A coach is somebody who is uniquely helping you through the buying system, but they probably don't have the authority or position to be able to make the decision. So if you're trying to sell technical aspects, the point, if you're trying to sell technical aspects to an economic buyer, you might not get the best results. And if you're trying to sell money to a technical buyer, you're probably not going to get the best results. So, economic buyer, final approval to buy doesn't mean she's going to make the decision. The user buyer makes judgments about potential impact your service will have on the job performance, concerned with implications of installing your solution. The technical buyer screens out possible suppliers and based on perceived competence, will determine if there's a technical need or fit. And then the coach guides you towards your particular sales objective. Helps you uniquely, not everybody. By the way, we're going to skip some pages, but I'll send the master to Dan, and then Dan can distribute it to you guys. It'll be a good reminder for you anyway to go through this stuff. On the next page, I like to talk about this just briefly because in my career, I've learned a lot of things about these different buyer modes, okay? So you've got growth, trouble, even kill, and overconfident. You've experienced all of these in your sales career where you talk to somebody and they say, oh, we've got it. We're good, no problems, we're set. Overconfident, even kill, don't want to rock the boat. Your chances of getting an order from or getting interest in a buyer who's overconfident or even kill is pretty low. In fact, I put in the blank spot, action is nil. It's almost never a good situation. Growth, does your proposal reduce or eliminate the gap? Somebody's growing, they need a better system, or they're having trouble with the current system. This is what you're looking for, obviously, when you start your questioning techniques. You're looking for growth, you're looking for trouble, and then you're trying to help them close that gap. You know, that's the point. Let's go to the next page. Buyer power and support. I want to touch on this just briefly. You can look at this graph and start to get an idea. So on one axis, you've got power. Power means the ability to influence a purchase. On the other axis, the x-axis, you've got support. This person supports your solution. You might be talking to 2, 3, 4 people in an organization about your product or service. It's important for you to understand that if you're speaking with somebody that doesn't have the ability to make a decision but supports your solution, You need to get them to coach you how to get to the person who's going to make the decision. If you're talking with somebody who can make the decision and doesn't support your solution, you got to find some help inside that system. Now, if it's just one person, that person probably has ultimate power, and whether they fit on supporting your solution or not, it's going to predict where you're going. But in many systems, there's 3 or 4 different buyer types. And some salespeople, and I was one of them in my early days, would spend far too much time with people who didn't have the authority to make decisions, but they loved what I talked about. Mark, you're great. This is great. Love your company. Really wonderful. I would talk to them for 3 months, 6 months, and I'd get frustrated why I couldn't close the order. They didn't have the authority to do it. They didn't have the power of the system to do it. So again, when you're speaking with one person, you probably know that's the owner, that probably has it. But in many systems that are becoming more complex, make sure you're speaking with a person who has the ability, the influence, the power to make a decision. Let's flip to the page with the arena. You'll see that yellow box on the left side. If you look at this box down below, what I try to do when I'm selling, and this is contrary to some kind of old school sales guys, but what I try to do is I try to let the prospect know everything I know. Everything I know about the industry, everything I know about the product and solution, everything that I know. I believe by doing that, that they have the tendency, in fact, it's almost incumbent upon them to begin to share everything they know. Buyers most times, it's a common characteristic. They think that they win by holding their cards close. They really don't. In the end, the more shared information that we have together, the better solutions that we can put together. So I try to share everything I know about their industry, about my product and service, probably things even that most would share. But I share it. I'll tell them about the competition. I'll tell them about the market. I'll tell them who's got better deals and who's got worse deals. I'll tell them all this stuff. But I'll say they can't do this, they can't do this, they can't do this. And that allows them to open up more. I want to get to this arena. I want to remove the blind spot. I don't want to be in this place where they know stuff I don't know. And that takes dialogue, that takes trust, that takes discovery. So I wanted to just show you this real quick because I think that it's really important in sales, and I think in most organizational development, is to build your arena through sharing what you know and getting to understand what the other person is holding in and ask a series of questions to get it out of them. So if you want to fill in the blanks on this one, why do buying systems resist change? Because of lack of information, loss of clarity, troubled relationships. They bought from people in the past and they don't trust them, and they put you in that bucket. And the only way you get past that is you got to build that arena. Lack of information, loss of clarity, troubled relationships, and not listening, not learning. The key to building advantage is to learn something new and rapidly apply it, and then repeat. Repeat. The more you share that is relevant, the better your chance of learning something new. If they feel like you're holding back, you should expect that they're going to hold back. There's a section in here we're not going to go through today because it's a little detailed, but you can take a look at it. And it's, if you are so inclined, it's a call planning tool. 3 or 4 pages on it, setting a single sales objective, accomplishing that objective. I always tell my people, have a sales objective for every call that you make, every phone call, every face-to-face that you have. What is your minimum expected outcome? When you get it, move. Next. I'll be doing a webinar for somebody, a prospect. My goal in the webinar is for them to say, I'd like a proposal. And when I'm doing that webinar and that customer says to me, that prospect says to me, I'd like a proposal, I move to action. They're done. I'd like a proposal. So I'll say, when would you like it? Next 2 days. This is going to have what it's going to look like. I'll send it to you by email, and then I'd like to have a follow-up with you in a week. Does that fit for you? Yep. Boom. Thank you very much for your time. I'll be sending that to you in the next 24, 48 hours. So when somebody makes that commitment, that minimum action that you're looking for, I always say, shut up and move.
Moneyball.
Yeah, that's about right. Shut up and move. When you get what you expect out of that call, move. And then have your next step, have a minimum expectation for that one, and then get it and move. Don't try to do 5 things all at once unless you can. Don't frustrate the buyer, don't frustrate yourself. Get the minimum expectation that you want and then move on. So that action commitment is a customer's promise to do something specific, concrete for the buy-sell process. Never in the sales call without getting that action commitment. I'm sorry, that's on the call objectives, commitment to action, right before, it's on the left side. Action commitment. It's a customer's promise to do something specific, concrete for the buy-sell process. Never in the sales call without getting that. Sorry. There's a question-based selling picture here. You see that?
Oh.
Yeah, right. Left side. Left side right there. Sorry. That's sort of the end of that call plan.
Can you give us the answer again?
The action commitment is a customer's promise to do something specific, and never end a sales call without getting this action commitment. So whatever it is that you're looking for, never end a call without, it could be no, but never end it without getting that commitment of action. Again, first step, next step. If there's one thing you write down somewhere on your forehead, first step, next step, all the time. The last piece I want to cover, because I do want to be respectful of the time here, and we did take a lot of time this morning, but I want to cover this 5C selling. This goes back, if you remember yesterday, we started talking about open-end, closed-in, trial close, hard close, all that neat stuff. There was a book that was written by a guy named Tom Freeze. I know some of you are from Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. And I just think it's one of the most brilliant sales books that I've read. I've read 100 of them. And he talks about that the whole concept, we used to have in the old days of asking these open-ended questions with the idea of getting information. He says early on in a conversation that he actually would coach us against doing that. He says buyers don't want to share a lot about their situation in their business until there's a few things in place, a couple things in place. One, the first thing that he talks about is building curiosity. He says you typically have 30 to 60 seconds to build curiosity in someone's mind. So what are those again? I'll go back to them. Those value propositions, the dramatic difference that you make. What is your 30-second, if we had another workshop, what is your 30-second elevator speech? And refine it and refine it and refine it. What is the 30-second elevator speech that's going to create curiosity around what it is that you do? Then what Freeze talks about, the next stage is building credibility. So after that 30 seconds, and he says the way you build credibility, which I love, is a series of closed-in questions. Yes, no, black, white, 27, 16, whatever it is. Closed-in questions that give the buyer an indication that you know the business. So a series of closed-in questions that you gain information about. It could be the number of terminals. It could be, the system that they use today. Again, they're kind of closed-in questions where there is an answer. Doesn't require elaboration. Then he says, once you've done that, you've built some curiosity, you've developed credibility by the questions that you've asked, the closed-in, you've got this picture of the situation, then you can start asking conditioning questions. I like Spin, so I don't know if any of you ever read Spin Selling. It's kind of a corny name, but it's a great book. Situation, problem, intuition, the initiation, and the need payoff. So get your condition. What's your situation? What's the problem? What's the implication? What's the need payoff? Spin. So I always try to find out, what's your situation? Tell me about it. What problem are you having or opportunity do you have? Problem can be opportunity. If we were to do this, what would be the implications to your business? And then what's the payoff? Need payoff. That's how you condition. Get commitment. Next step. And then after the sale, cultivate. Yesterday, I think, somebody over here was talking, I think this gentleman was talking about after you get the sale and how he was talking about retention, but cultivate new business. How do you use that for referral? How do you use it to get new business in other divisions? So curiosity, credibility closed in, conditioning, spend, get commitment, and then cultivate. There are certain structures that you can follow that will help you when you do this. So if it were me, what we do again at COAC is for each client, we develop these 5 C's into a call plan. We have an idea of the 2 or 3 things we're going to ask and say in each one of these sections. We find that to be the most effective way for us to gather, or organize, and move people through the funnel. So think about asking more closing questions at the beginning to build that credibility, and then building conditioning through the situation, problem, implication, and need. So let's go to that last page there that's the 5C selling, and it says spin situation questions. Situation questions, unrelated to sales success. They uncover facts or details about the current state. So the situation question gives you facts and details about the current state. What's going on in their business. Problem, like the situation question, problem questions are not related to sales success. However, the answers are necessary to learn implied needs. You're trying to learn more about what's going on in the organization, the opportunities or problems that they might have. And then that last one is need payoff question. These questions have a positive framework. So I'll close in summarizing here. So buyer types. Don't sell technical to an economic. Don't sell money to a technical or user. Be cognizant of the type of buyer that you're speaking with. Make sure that you understand the matrix of buyer power and support when you're speaking with people. Can this person make a decision? Do they support my solution? And remember not to spend too much time with those people who can't help you or can't make the decision. And then think about the structure that you use when you're doing a sales call. Think about the questioning techniques. How do you build curiosity? Is there clarity really quick in 30 to 45 seconds? How do you build curiosity? And then closing questions, credibility, condition, commitment, cultivate. So I'm going to get out because I think you guys are ready for some other